Thank you all for being here. And today I'm going to talk about our Healthy Soils program and some work that I've done through the PDLC opportunity to kind of re-envision things and think a lot about the extension side of the work that we do and how we might be more effective and more impactful with our programming. Just for some context, the Healthy Soils, Healthy Communities project has been around since around 2008, 2009, when I first joined the Cornell Waste Management Institute as an extension associate. And we are led by Cornell, and we worked closely with Cornell Cooperative Extension New York City, especially at the onset, the State Department of Health, Brooklyn College, New York City Parks Rhythm, and other partners, many of whom are in New York City, but also in other areas across the state, including Erie County. And the main goal of this integrated research and extension project, to provide some context for the rest of what I'll talk about, is to support all of the positive things about growing, especially in urban gardens, also in community gardens and other areas, but also addressing the fact that some of these soils where we're trying to garden and grow food are contaminated. We see things like lead from old paints, from the past use of leaded gasoline, that through various mechanisms can make their way into the soil and potentially onto or occasionally into food crops that we might be growing and consuming from those environments. So the goal of our research is to characterize what things look like, how things like lead might be getting into or onto our foods, and what that means for the people who are gardening in those environments, how they might be coming in contact with chemicals that are not good for their health. And then taking those research findings and developing recommendations for healthy gardening practices so that we can really maximize the benefits that people are getting out of these food growing spaces and minimizing the potential human health impacts. So again, we've worked a lot with New York City and urban community gardens, but a lot of what we're learning, a lot of our healthy gardening practices really translate over to a variety of types of gardens and food growing spaces. And I should just mention too, early on, our work was funded by the National Institutes of Health. We were fortunate to secure a fairly large grant early on in this project that allowed us to build many of these partnerships. We've also been supported pretty substantially through Hatch and Smith Lever, as well as some other smaller sources of funding from the Towards Sustainability Foundation and some other sources. But the funding future of our program, like many other programs, is fairly uncertain after the next year or so. So one reason for this re-envisioning is to really think critically about what we can do well and how we can build some new connections to carry us into the future. So some connections, successes, and challenges. One success has been the redesign of our website that's happened over the last couple of years. I worked with Lori Brewer and others to make better connections to Cornell Garden-Based Learning and to other Cornell programs on campus to make our information a little more easy to find, trying to use an FAQ format to guide people through our site, since this is one of the main ways that we're interacting with people. We also help a lot of people through workshops and conference programming at gardening conferences and soils conferences. We do a lot of individualized support of just responding to phone and email inquiries, especially this time of year as everyone's gearing up to garden. And on-the-ground problem solving with farms in New York City and Buffalo. Just helped out the Ithaca Community Gardens with some testing here, helping people to troubleshoot. Okay, we're concerned about things like lead. What do we do? How do we address these concerns so that we can grow food and feel confident that we're managing this appropriately? From the extension side, it's been a challenge to reach new audiences. Other than through conferences, we spend a lot of time being responsive to people that are finding us and coming to us with questions that they already have. And I'd really like us to be more proactive about reaching people who may not have contaminants in soil health and healthy gardening practices on their radar. And hence the working with county educators is a really great way to make those connections. And through that, I'm really hoping that that can also help us find pathways for more effective resource sharing and collaboration, and ways to create more innovative programming, which will also help to address the limits of our time and budgets. I'm actually half-time and have been for quite a while. So the people power that we have, we've many wonderful collaborators, but the more we can find partnerships where people are on the ground and already working with people, the better we can leverage those connections to really get our information out there. And so again, we've done a really good job with our research program and translating that into healthy gardening practices. So now our focus and my focus through this project is to expand the impact of this program by networking with our county educators, building new partnerships, exchanging information, seeing what great resources are out there that county folks are using that we should be aware of and that we should be distributing through our own site. And by doing that, we're really hoping to increase our engagement to reach more New York State gardeners in some of the same cities and urban centers we've been working with, but also other areas that we haven't been able to reach as proactively. Goals and objectives. So there are many layers of objectives with this project, and it's been really useful through the PDLC project to think through those. And overall, I'm thinking of strengthening campus-county connections as the means to achieving our goals and our outcomes. And in the shorter term, we want to expand access to our project resources, science-based information about healthy gardening practices, and deliver innovative, responsive programming that's helping communities meet the needs that we're hearing from them they still need some help with. And by doing that, promote environmentally sound, healthy gardening practices that are based in science. There's a lot of misinformation out there about things like getting lead out of your soil, so we're constantly pushing up against just the internet and whatever resources are out there that may or may not actually be found in research. In longer term, we really would like to build longevity of resources and partnerships, both to hopefully make our own programs sustainable and able to be here into the future, but in any case to make those resources available in the longer term, regardless of what might happen here with funding and programming. And overall, thinking to the statewide plan of work and outcomes that we're going for there, improving soil health, soil productivity, and environmental quality, reducing health risks. So again, we're maximizing the benefits of growing food and minimizing the risks from people coming in contact with things like lead so that we can grow affordable, safer, healthier foods. Oh, and I should just say, so our work is really at the intersection of several different program areas. So ag and food systems, nutrition, food safety, and security. We're trying to promote food growing spaces, and also environment and natural resources. Our soils and our food growing spaces are part of our natural environment. So I'm primarily thinking of a three-pronged approach. The first is a little more nebulous and still evolving, which is to network with county educators and other partners on campus and elsewhere to continue to assess needs and opportunities. And I've been having conversations with county educators for the last few years, and so this is continuing that, and I'm hoping to do it in a more methodical way and reaching out to counties that we haven't been in contact with historically, so that we can be sure that we're getting a good idea of needs across the state. One way to do this, I've been having some really great conversations with folks about the potential to re-envision a program work team model. We currently have a Healthy Soils, Healthy Communities program work team, but it hasn't been as impactful as we'd like it to be, and there's room for some re-envisioning there. So that might be a really great way to bring people together and facilitate some conversations about how we can share resources, challenges, and successes. And I have this picture here in the bottom just to show that we've had some really great success in New York City, bringing together, this was actually our advisory board, and bringing together people from all different types of organizations and occupations to address these issues and assess needs and explore solutions to problems. And one other more focused thing, I'm working with CCE Tompkins to work on pushing out some key resources through the clones web pages. So many counties have opted in to using a website format that's actually pushed out by CCE Tompkins, so there can be new content and updates that can kind of go out automatically to a number of counties. So trying to leverage that as a way to get information out there. Valuation. So informal dialogue with county partners is one big part of this. Talking with with county educators about what has helped them to support New York State residents in growing healthy food, challenges they've faced, additional resources and collaborations, their ideas, and especially about how a program work team might help to address these. And so that's loftier and evolving, and also just very tangible metrics about the number of county websites that might that would include a shared resource after it's pushed out, number of program work team members if we're able to re-envision that, and counts of number of county educators and partners engaged in these efforts. And I'll just show our website here again. In terms of resources that have helped me through this work, PDLC has really been instrumental in helping me to re-envision things and have some structure and support for doing that. And so through that process, I am hoping to compile additional resources from county folks that we can then put on our website and kind of have this be the central portal for now of access to different programming and things that are happening. And also think about how the PWT can think into that. But I'll leave it there. So I'm at my limit. So thank you all. Any questions?
Questions or thoughts for Deanna?
So when you are looking to develop those partnerships with other extension agents,
Yeah.
do you have an idea where you'd like to start, like a certain county, or are you just looking more in general to see if anybody approaches you?
I'm open to ideas. I mean, my plan is to start with people that I already know and go from there. I started that a little bit this spring. It turns out this is a rough time of year to try to talk to people because just like how our own program is especially busy in March and April, so is everyone else that I would like to talk to right now. So yeah, I'm thinking of kind of like almost like the snowball interview where you start somewhere and it just expands out from there. So that's my strategy. I'm also very open to hearing from people that may be interested, and if you know anyone who might have ideas for me, feel free to spread the word.
Question. I'm wondering if you've made any connections with anything else for this collaboration.
Well, the connecting with Sandy Ruff at CCD Tompkins about the web stuff was a recommendation I'd heard from someone else here on campus, but Jemmy also facilitated that connection and sent an introductory email and closed the loop very quickly and efficiently. So yeah, there have been a couple other examples that I gave. Yeah.
So will you explain that clone website a little better?
I'm still learning about it too, but basically CCD Tompkins comes up with a web page design that then can be adopted by any county that want to use it. And they can change parts of it to customize it for their own needs, but it's content that's like ready-made content that they can like plug and play basically, just like, and by doing that, they don't have to be updating things themselves. It gets updated kind of at the master level and then pushed out to whoever is choosing to use it.
Interesting.
If something changes in the information about lead contamination, then you could change it on the Tompkins website and it would propagate out together.
That's my understanding. Yeah, and I'm not totally clear on how often updates happen and exactly how that all works, but that's the.
Do you have zero ballpark about how many counties are doing that?
I think it's about, do you know the latest? I'm thinking 40, maybe more than that.
Really?
So how do we get on that template?
Yeah. Well, and does that mean currently we have a link to Tompkins County compost page, but it always changes and I never know when it does. So does that mean that a link would not be? Do you know what I mean? Like, so
A link from the Cornell Waste Management Institute website, you mean, or from?
Well, on
our
waste
website?
on the waste management website under
Yep.
composting resources, you link to Tompkins County's compost page.
Okay.
Would that link?
Would it break?
Would-
Oh no, I don't think so. I think it's just.
I should check it with
But I'm still learning about all of this too, and
Yeah.
surveying what different counties are doing is part of it.
because they have excellent composting.
And Sandy Ruff is the person in Tompkins County who coordinates.
Sandy,
Ruff.
right? I'll just talk to you.
Yeah, we should. I'll talk to her about this too.
I have some questions about blogs.
Yeah.
You and I need to talk.
Any other questions? I'm sure that
Final
Michelle?
questions, comments?
Thank you.
Great job.